I really hate to tell you this, but it has been 6 years since 2020 when the COVID-19 lockdowns began. Ugh. Whether it feels like it or not, that's a pretty big chunk of time. Dare I ask you, how much do you think you've changed and grown since then? And when was the last time you played Animal Crossing? Because I picked it up for the first time in a long time the other week, and it made me have a really weird realization. But I'll get into that later. Looking back at the past can feel weird, and looking at who I was when I was younger makes me cringe a bit. Who is that person? Is that me? Once upon a time, it was March 2020 and I was newly 20 years old. I was about to start a new job, but the company ghosted me. I mean, the last communication I had with them was the boss saying that he'd get back to me after he came back from his January trip to China. Let me reiterate that. His January 2020 trip to China. So, yeah, that might explain that. But this meant that when the first COVID lockdown rolled around, I was jobless. I had no daily structure. But you know what I did have? Animal Crossing New Horizons. 6 years later, life is very different. I've experienced so many different things. Jobs, friendships, relationships, travel. I can identify so many ways that I have changed. That person is not me. Since 2020, I've done a lot of slow and steady self-exploration. I realised that I was autistic and have ADHD and was diagnosed with both, which came with a lot of reflecting on my past and a lifetime of struggle I have lived through. I cut off all my hair. I made and posted things online, which is something I'd always done, but this time I started owiebrainhurts and I watched my dream of content creation as a potential career begin to come true. And this is where I'd usually put a sponsor, but I don't have one today. I'm instead going to be honest about something. Maybe too honest. Every creator is different with how they get their bread and butter. I like Aldi, personally. But no, for real. Some creators earn a lot of money just from YouTube alone, but this is what I earned from YouTube alone in 2025. I'm of course grateful for this, but to put it into perspective, this is what the minimum wage is in my country. This is why creators like myself take on sponsorships. They can be great, but it's a risk to fully rely on them. And it's also why community support is so appreciated. There are various ways that you can support creators. And if you're interested, I've just revamped my Patreon. There are 3 tiers, and aside from just supporting me, each has some reward as well. And remember, please only consider financially supporting creators if it is in budget for you. Thanks for listening. Let's get back to the video. In 2020, I played Animal Crossing every day for months. Every morning, I would wake up, pick up my Switch, and open Animal Crossing. Every day. I ended up playing it so much, in fact, that I eventually got sick of it, and I didn't want to play it anymore. But recently, for the first time in a long time, there was a new Animal Crossing update. My interest in playing was lightly piqued. There were going to be new features, and it was going to feel a little more fresh. So I decided, with slight hesitance, to attempt playing again. I watched my character walk out of the house dressed in a towel. Girl, it's snowing out here, you're going to be cold. I began to run around the island, feeling the lay of the land for the first time in years. It felt like a time capsule of what once was. In New Horizons, there's a tool called a magic wand, which you can use to equip a full outfit at the touch of a button. You can choose from multiple outfits that you have designed, like a towel and slippers, for example, apparently. Cycling through these outfits that I had once made was like looking at relics of the past. And after looking at them all, I remembered that there was another outfit I could access, the outfit underneath the magic wand layer. Oh, wow. That looks like me now? Like, it really looks like me right now. Have I not changed? So many things in my life are different now, but somehow, underneath the layers, this was still me. I had completely forgotten about this endgame outfit. So tell me how, over the last 6 years, I've managed to purchase everything that I was wearing in-game in real life. Even down to the glasses prescription. Look at it. Yeah, it has bear ears rather than cat ears, but give me a break, okay? In this game, I had dressed my character the way I felt before I had dressed my real body that way. And it's not quite the same, but it made me think about my trans friends. I remember being in a conversation with some trans friends of mine a few years ago, and they were talking about how, as children, when they were playing video games and were able to customize their character, they'd more often than not choose the opposite gender than they were assigned at birth. They didn't know what being transgender was at that age, or that they were trans themselves, but they still leant towards what they ended up looking like in future. And I think that's really interesting. In the same breath, I don't think it's that straightforward. It wasn't always like that for me. I decided to look at an older Animal Crossing game I had once played, Animal Crossing New Leaf, to see if the same thing had happened there. But I found that my character design didn't reflect me at all. I had just had fun dressing up, but at the same time, there were still snippets of me. I had a house full of plants, which I didn't actually have in real life then, but do now. There was messiness and unfinished paths, which could probably be compared against my now diagnosed ADHD. I don't know, I think it's interesting to think about how much meaning this all has, if any at all. Maybe this is nothing burger and I'm just over-analysing. What do you think? How have you changed or not changed over time, and can you see it in the things that you spilled your soul into? Not just games, but maybe art that you made, photos you took, things that you wrote. Do you see your true self in these, or someone maybe that you thought you should be, or maybe there's no relevance at all? I'm genuinely curious, so please let me know. I'll be in the comments below, and I'll see you there.
And thanks once again if you watched the part where I talked about fan funding. Fun things coming soon.